Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I'm going to talk real quickly about a video, well, not a video, a topic that's kind of buzzing around in the credit repair world with a lot of the content creators, and it's about a company called Variant, Verint. What they do is they provide bots to listen in on conversations with credit card company, uh, customer service, and with their clients. And this is something that is got a lot of people in an uproar. There is actually a lawsuit that is working its way down the channels in the court systems, and it's based on the information that those bots are actually, getting the data from, is that this is stuff that is sensitive information and should not be shared with unauthorized third parties. Which the way that a lot of these companies get around with these unauthorized third parties is that they have their terms of use of the services. They keep having these updates come to us, and they're saying, hey, you want to continue using our cards, or you want to continue working with us as a bank, you want to continue working with us as a lender, that you have to sign this updated terms of service agreement. And in these updated terms of service agreements, they have information in there, and this has been widely known and been reported on the news, that they are using bots to kind of to go through like a learning phase of, number one, of how they can get their customer service teams to work better by making sure that their customer service teams are actually listening to what people are actually asking them about. And then number two, to train future AI customer service reps on what to say when they're going to be talking to people, when they start to push some of those customer service reps out and start using AI bots to actually do the customer service talking. And so this is like a learning phase. But also, because I'm in the business, because I'm sitting on the other side of the table, I actually own companies like these come to, and they'll say, let me tell you, you are in the risk type business. And let me tell you the number one reason. Remember, if you want to remember a lot of things that I teach you, remember a lot of things that I say to you, but always verify. Remember my video I made with Bo Williams, where I said trust but verify. But you can trust and you can go verify that companies, the number one reason that they use this, if they're in the lending business, and it actually states it in the lawsuit about the emotions of the individual, is because every application that you fill out, one of the things that people do not even understand about an application for employment, an application for a loan, when you're giving them your data, is that they're trying to base the risk on either hiring you or giving you a loan. Like the bottom line, if there was something like, if they had contracts, and on those contracts, it was like, we got to tell the truth at the bottom. You know how they all had a small print, and then in the small print it talks about what the whole contract is really about, the stuff that we don't even read. And inside of there could be one little sentence that says, we're asking you all of these questions to base how much risk it's going to be to deal with you. And that goes from employers hiring employees. That goes for lenders, credit card companies, auto lenders, payday loan lenders, everybody. Is that it all comes down to a risk assessment. And one of the benefits that has came about, that was like a benefit that a benefit that they didn't know was going to be, what do you call it when you do something like the weight loss pills and stuff, where it was for diabetes, but people also lost weight. It had that additional benefit. Well, one of the additional benefits that they've learned by listening to the bots is that people tell you, when people get the talking, there's a certain point in the conversation where they start to reveal themselves. They start to reveal what they're going through. It's just how we are as people. It's how we are as people. And so what they learned is that as the further people start to talk, the further people started to tell a story about what they were going through. And they figured out that the bot could say, hey, we have another piece of data that we could utilize as a risk evaluation, that could give us a risk evaluation process. So let me give you a quick example. Follow me on this. You're having trouble paying your credit card debt. Credit card companies are the only companies that can change the terms with their credit cards, even if you don't mess up with theirs and you mess up on another one with a whole nother company. So let's just say, for instance, you got a Citibank credit card and you have a Discover card. You mess up on the Citibank card. Did you know that Discover can say, we're going to jack your rates up and we can lower your available credit amount for your card? And you're like, I've paid you all the time, on time. What? Because they can do a risk evaluation with based off of your credit reports and your history, based off of what you're doing with the other card. So what lenders start to think about is, they're like, we thought that this was just going to make it easy for us to start replacing some of the customer service people that we had in our office, or that we had virtually, because it seemed like the progression was they had customer service in the office and they went virtual to save money, and now they're trying to go AI, full-blown AI, to really save money. Because you don't only think this is what you pay for when you have AI, is you pay for the system to run the AI, and it is very expensive. And so, but they found out that they could start to use that data as that information, because people started to express their emotions, and they use it as a risk assessment on what is going on with that account, and can we trust that this individual is going to be of sound mind to continue paying us. Companies like Navy Federal is using it, Capital One, Citi. You can bet that any company that is in the lending business and any employer that is hiring people on a mass level are starting to use this. And now you might be saying, well, what about the human resource? If you look at it, your human resources department is going down, 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 because they're using data. And how do they use the data? They use the data from your social media account. Let me give you some insider information. When people are hired, when you go to get a job, let me tell you, the first place that people look to see how you are, because how you are is going to be how you work for their company. First place they're going to look is on social media. And you might be saying, well, my account is closed, they can't look and get anything on that. Oh boy. Let me tell you the way that they do it. And this is my wife with one of our companies. This is exactly like she does that department for us, where she goes and looks at that. And for me, I'm just telling you, I give people chances. I've been giving people chances. I'm that type of person where you might have messed up. I'm going to try to give you chances. I'm just that type of person. And things have happened not in my favor by trusting people, uh, you know, thinking people had changed and they didn't change. And my wife was like, all you had to do is look at their social media account. You want to know who a person is? Look at that social media account. That's who they are. And so the bots, what they'll do is that you don't have to have an open social media account. There is a bot that can run and get every type of post, everything that you said, which I don't think everything that people say should be held against them, but it will find it. It will find it. And so when it comes to credit and debt, this is where the whole thing kind of comes full circle and comes together. When they're utilizing stuff like this and people are, doing their best to do what they can to make sure that their credit is in order. They're doing what they can to make sure they're making their payments on time, to do what they can to keep their debt down. And then all of a sudden there's some certain things that they seem like I'm not being invited into the door, or there's something that is holding me back from being able to move forward financially, either getting turned down for a loan and you thought you had all of your ducks in a row. This is going to be one of the risk evaluators when people go to apply for credit. I don't think that it has made it outside of company to company being shared with that information. But this company, Variant Systems, is like the company that everybody is going to. Most of these companies, lenders and creditors are going to get with, and employers are going to get with, to have their system set up at their company. And we already know that if they're going to be the one that has all the data, how do we know that any of that data won't get cross-contaminated over to someone else's account? Just like Google. Think about it. Google did some things that would not be legal to do if it wasn't online. Like, let me give you an example, because this is something that actually destroyed one of my businesses. Google came on, and see, when you benefit from it, you don't really see it that way. But I'm going to tell you what happened to me so you can kind of understand this. So you won't think that, oh, Steve just wants to say this to try to protect himself and stuff. No, I'm giving you flat, truthful information on how it's applied. And there is no business that is safe. There is no individual that is safe. And when I say safe, that means that disruption means that it's not going to look the same way moving forward in the future. I'm not saying like safe where you're in personal harm. Even though if you can't get a loan for something, like you're trying to get that house, that mortgage to put your family into a better neighborhood to build wealth, that can, make you make your financial situation unsafe. But let me stay on point. So what Google basically did is Google just came in, set up Google as a search engine, and they went and they put all of the company's information on there. So they went without people's permission, without any company's permission. They just put, hey, this is a business there, and whatever information they could get, they put on there, and then they made it to where they set up the condition to where the business owner at some point felt that they had to go on there and fill out that information to Google, which in turn made it like they were complicit with the whole thing happening. And then Google became the major search engine. I benefited from it as a consumer. You benefited from it as a consumer. But businesses like my marketing company, it had a slow destruction. But we really had to transition to the new world anyway, the way that information was going to be provided for people finding businesses. But during that point, while that was happening, that didn't feel good. And this is going to be something that's going to happen to all of us And now that you know the information on why they are doing this, is not necessarily to try to see, to try to get information from you on what's going on with the specific account. That's part of it. But a major part of it is just to see the risk level of what you're going through as an individual. What is that emotional level of, like, how are you expressing what you're going through? Because they will use that as a filter for risk evaluation for whatever account that you have with them. That is that is one of the background reasons. I'm not going to say that that's the only reason. That's a background reason. And you can go look at the lawsuit. Let me see the lawsuit that was filed. It says here, against Navy Federal Credit Union. Look up, let's see here. The lawsuit under Navy Federal Credit Union for Poliano. Yeah, Poliano says he called Navy Federal Credit Union customer service line multiple times. Those calls, he said, he had disclosed sensitive personal and financial information like bank account details, social security number, expecting that the conversation with the credit union would be kept confidential. However, Poliano says Navy Federal was using variant real-time agent assist software to listen to the conversation with contact-centered agents in real time and uses AI to notify the assist employees and supervisors about ways to handle the telephone call. That's the way that they're using it. That's the way that it's being reported in the lawsuit. But I'm here to tell you that the reason why that's being done is because they're trying to do a risk evaluation on the emotions, based on the emotions of that individual that they're talking to on the phone. All right. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. That's the way that we repair credit and increase scores. If you need your credit reports or scores, go to the3scores.com to get your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. Links are below this video. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, debt validation, cease and desist collection activities letter. Use the one that's appropriate for your situation. It has instructions right on top of there. I do ask for a donation on those, but it can save you time, money, and frustration if you had the right information, a good letter that can stop debt collectors before they start trying to pursue you in other ways. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.